a sorcerer named Zarok. This arrogant, pitiless man hated his fellow citizens for their simple and peaceful ways. So he raised an army of demons and set out to take the realm for his own. The king's champion, Sir Daniel Fortesque, led the militia into battle against this unholy horde. Songs are still sung of how he spearheaded the charge deep into the accursed multitude, how demons fell before him like wheat before the scythe, and how at last, though mortally wounded, he destroyed the sorcerer utterly. Fortesque went down in history that day as the hero of Gallowmere, and a time of peace began, which was to last for 100 years. And then, the sorcerer returned.
And with that, we begin. Happy Halloween, everyone! Hello, everyone. This is Roxas1359. Welcome to the Halloween livestream of MediEvil for the PlayStation 1. MediEvil was created and developed by Sony Computer Entertainment Cambridge, I should say. Published in 1998 for the PlayStation 1. Cambridge Studios for Sony is now under a new name. You might recognize them more as Guerrilla Games, the creator of the Killzone series. Yeah, kind of odd shift to go from MediEvil to full-on shooter, but hey, that's what it is. For this live stream Let's Play, we will be going through the entirety of MediEvil 1 to the best of my memory, because it has been about 3 years since I've last played MediEvil 1 when I did a Let's Play of this back on GameAnyone.com. So, I figured, hey, it's Halloween, it's thematically appropriate, so why don't we see the adventures of Sir Daniel Fortesque and play through MediEvil 1. So, let us commence. So, continuing off where the cutscene left off, seems Zarok's spell had a bit of a unintended consequence of reviving Sir Daniel Fortesque. And at the first charge, Sir Daniel fell. He's no hero of Gallowmere. He's a farce. Who is missing his lower jaw. And that is why we love him. But for our first level, we are in Dan's Crypt.
It has risen again. Sir Daniel Fortesque. See? The hero of Gallowmere who fell at the first charge. The fog of war and the shrouds of time conspire to turn the arrow fodder into the savior of the day. But we knows better.
Yep.
Let it alone. Fate has given it a second chance. A chance to forget the ignoble truth. A chance to defeat Zarok and live up to the legend. We hopes it does well.
I hopes it does well as well. Well, everyone, welcome to MediEvil. First things first, since I reset the game, I believe my controller settings have gone back to digital yes. So, go into analog mode. This game actually supported the analog stick, and we have our first item, our sword. So, what are the controls for this game? Analog stick to move around, right analog stick does jack diddly squat, because this was a time in which analog sticks were not really a requirement. Hit the X button to hit regular attacks, hold down the X button, or I guess that was only resurrection. You could do other moves. You could also end up attacking with the square button. Hit down the square button and hold it, and you can do a charged attack. There are multiple different items in the game that can do charged attacks. Circle button is jump. Triangle button is something for later. If you hit the select button, you can go into your inventory and change around your items. So right now, all we have is our small sword and our arm. Our camera is controlled by the L2 and R2 buttons, and that's pretty much it. So, let's get started, shall we, with this rune right here. I need to remember the controls in MediEvil a bit because they are a little bit different from Resurrection. Let's hit this open right here, and we get ourselves a shield. Shields will be used to defend yourself from attacks. Hit the triangle button, and you can bring up the shield. Now, you might notice that your shield has a number on it. That means that if that number goes down to 0, then your shield goes poop. So, make sure your shield don't go poop. Anyway, if we go right here, we can also grab the throwing daggers. These are consumable items. You can end up regaining everything for consumable items inside of shops, which are the gargoyles in this game. You use gold in order to see through it. So as you can see, we have 10 gold right now. That's enough to buy literally anything at all. We literally can't buy anything. And here's something that's majorly important. Our first life bottle. As you can see, Sir Daniel Fortesque has 300 hit points. Loses all 300 hit points, he will die. That is, unless he has a life bottle, which will fill his health all the way up. There are a total of 9 of them in the game. We will be trying to go for all of them, so keep that in mind. So, let's put our rune right here that we picked up so that we may make our way out of our crypt to the first level of the game. And here's how MediEvil is set up. We have the map of Gallowmere around here, and we can go around Gallowmere through this map. The more levels you end up unlocking, the more the map for Gallowmere fills up, which I think is a nice little touch. You can also save your game on the world map, which is something I will be doing once we end up collecting the chalices from levels. What is a chalice? We'll be getting into that in a bit, but for right now, let's start with the graveyard. The first level of the game. So this level right here, I always remember for MediEvil, because this was my first experience with the game. Back in the day of the PlayStation Underground magazine, as well as the demo discs that used to be for the PlayStation 1, this level right here was the level that you could play for MediEvil on some of the demo discs. The one in particular I got was from Pizza Hut back in the day. So, what we're doing is this. We are killing zombies. Simple as that. Charging attack fully up and then letting it rip will kill a zombie usually fairly fast. You might notice each time we end up killing them, a little red thing comes out and our little chalice fills up. That is the goal for levels. You have to fill up your chalice to 100%, and we will be transported to the Hall of Heroes directly afterwards once we collect the chalice. Pretty much, filling up the chalice means killing enemies that are inside the stage. So, kill enemies, get chalice points, and everything will be hunky-dory. Now this right here, this will refill your health. This is a life fountain. These are the problem with the game, honestly. Because with the life fountains, if you're not careful, they will dry up over time. And once they're dried up, they're gone for good. And you could end up in a dead game if you're not careful. There is a way that you can get health otherwise that makes things easier, but make sure you shouldn't usually run out of anything for the chalices, not chalices, for the life fountain, so don't worry too much about that. All right, so we've got 38% right now. Some levels the chalice will fill up faster than others. Some will fill up slower depending on the enemy. And in one stage in particular, which is fairly annoying and is the one that I am not looking forward to, we have the ever so lovely... Where's the... Oh, there's the thing. We have the ever so lovely fun of dealing with things that will lower your chalice if you're not careful. Right? So, usually what I do right here is I just charge up and kill the zombies. Makes things easier. It's a good thing that Dan's just a skeleton, because he can do some pretty neat tricks with that. Alright, now here's where our chalice is located, so we can collect that once we get enough zombies. It's a little bit dark right here, I will admit. I might raise the brightness up for the game a bit, because I didn't realize it'd be this dark. I mean, it goes with the atmosphere and everything, but it's a little bit too dark, if you ask me. Alright, now let's kill some more of these zombies while we're at it. And then we can go and collect our chalice. Oh, a little bit of that PlayStation 1 classic slowdown. This is only a thing that happens with the PS3, I notice, whenever I'm doing that. Alright. Okay, chalice can now be collected, so let's go back and grab it. I wish I had the Daring Dash. In Resurrection, the remake of this game, you start out with the Daring Dash, and it makes your life so much easier. So, let us open this up and collect our first chalice, so the Hall of Heroes awaits. Right, so, let us see. I could have sworn that there was another gate that would open. Ah, I was right. And here's where our second life bottle is, and where a bunch of zombies are. So let's kill the zombies. And let's get the heck out of here, shall we? This right here is one of these shop gargoyles. Hit the X button. I believe it's the X button. Huh, I could have sworn this is a shop gargoyle, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, it's the X button that you have to hit. And you can buy supplies for them. So you can buy 40 or 50 throwing daggers for 40 gold. I don't use the throwing daggers, so I'm not going to be buying them. And that was kind of where the zombies would be trying to eat my brains, but I'm not going to let them. or whatever's left of my brains, I should say. This does take, I mean, this is long enough for Sir Dan to go through entire rigor mortis. All right. Now, one thing I should mention, water. Sir Dan can't swim. If you get too deep in water, what ends up happening is you will drown and you will lose a life bottle going back to wherever the game decides to put you. So, that takes care of that. So, let's finish up the first level. And I am going to change the brightness of this because it kind of bothers me a little bit that it's so dark right now. But welcome to the Hall of Heroes, ladies and gentlemen, which shouldn't be as dark. Oh my, that is rather dark. Wow. All right, so let us fix that real quick by going into the broadcast settings. And let us configure the video input. Again, it's doing it at 720p, so let's put this at, I mean, it's doing it at 1080p. Let's put this at 720p so then I'm not using too much bandwidth. There we go. That got the brightness nice and up. There we go. That got everything done. So, let's get a little bit of a backstory on the Hall of Heroes, shall we?
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity, feasting, singing, and arm wrestling. If they think you're worthy enough, you may be able to persuade them to give you a new weapon.
That's actually pretty helpful, getting myself a new little weapon from them, and that's how this ends up going. Pretty much, you might notice right over here, we have a statue of ourselves. Once we get every single chalice in the game, that will unlock the good ending and will get you this statue nice and solid. During the time in the Hall of Heroes, pretty much, we can talk to the other statues that are around here, get ourselves a nice little plethora of weapons and items, some life bottles, some upgraded weapons, some upgraded shields, which is pretty good. So why don't we start with Canny Tim right here. So hit the X button while on the chalice.
Captain Fortesque, it's me, Canny Tim. Does the battle go well? How I wish I could fight at your side again, sir. But hold, you could take my crossbow. It's got rapid fire and you can ricochet the darts off walls to shoot around corners. I used it at the Battle of Gallowmere. After you were slain, I shot Zarok's champion, Lord Kardok. A clean kill through the eye at some 1,000 yards.
So, will you accept the weapon? Sure.
Not that there's anything clever about shooting someone in the eye, sir. Oh, goodbye, sir.
And we found ourselves the crossbow. The crossbow is one of the better rapid-fire items in the game, better than the daggers, and you can fire it with the square button. So, pretty much, that is all we can do in the Hall of Heroes for right now. The more chalices we get, the more items we'll be able to get. So, for right now, why don't we put on this small sword and exit the Hall of Heroes, which should be around here somewhere. I'm getting confused with the Hall of Heroes from MediEvil Resurrection because I was playing Resurrection not too long ago. Not there. That one leads us to somewhere else, and we can't go upstairs yet. So yeah, we should be able to leave through this way. Unless, do I hit the start button? No. Okay, there we go. Now it's showing up. That was weird. It wasn't showing up beforehand. So, let's leave the Hall of Heroes. And now that we've beaten the graveyard, more of Gallowmere's map opens up to us. So, save our progress? Sure. So, let's check the memory card. Let's put it in slot 2. And there we go. So, you can replay the graveyard if you want. You know you got the chalice if the chalice has a check mark next to it. So, let us now head off to Cemetery Hill.